What's up, everybody? Rob Arnold here with some just simple guitar basics to help you maybe think about things a little bit differently and give a different perspective on just some kind of basic techniques and principles that I think will help you along in your guitar playing journey. Things that I was taught early on that helped me develop my style that I'd like to share with you. That first little thing I played right there was actually the very first thing I ever wrote on the guitar 30 years ago. And why show it to you? Certainly wasn't anything killer, but I was just happened to be messing around the other day. I came across it, played it again, and was like, and it just got me thinking about some of the things I want to talk about today. Melody, pitch, note selection, things like that that make riffs or licks or leads that are appealing to people, that people like. Lots of people can learn guitar songs, learn riffs, or learn songs on any instrument, and the riffs and the licks and all that kind of stuff, but writing them is a whole different animal. If it were easy to write awesome riffs that everybody liked, everybody'd be doing it. But the thing is, there's only certain players, certain bands, certain artists, certain musicians that create something special that we all really can fall in love with. What is it about Dimebag and Eddie Van Halen, rest in peace, both those guys, that wrote these awesome, interesting riffs that were just so melodic and fun and made you want to play them? What was it about those? What is it about Metallica riffs that we love so much that we want to play those riffs? We want to pick up a guitar. It inspires so many people to pick up a guitar and want to learn that stuff, learn those songs. Well, it's just, in my opinion, the gift given to those players to write riffs that people just happen to like. And what is it about the riffs? It's their melody, it's their tempos, and really just comes down to note selection, the ability that these players have to choose the right notes that work well together, work well in sequence, or work well in a transition. Now combine that with other musicians as well, and the chemistry between musicians, and that's what makes a lot of great bands. But still, there are individual components and individual players of bands that stand out, that write amazing material that we all just love, So people happen to ask me all the time, how do you write songs? How do you put riffs together? That sort of thing. And honestly, I don't really think it's something that can be taught. But what you can be taught are good fundamentals and good principles about just certain things. And I'm not going to even talk about the technicality of stuff or the theory behind it, because I don't know those things. The way I was taught was pretty much self-taught, and it's heart, mind, soul, the fingers, and stuff like that I put together. And on some very small scale, I'm lucky that dudes like the riffs and the melodies that I put together too. So again, I can't really teach all those things, but I just started accumulating some thoughts in my mind about ways to identify good pitches and tones and how to put them together so that you can hopefully do the same thing. These are geared more towards beginners, but I guarantee you'll pick up at least some different point of perspective if you check out this video and listen to the things that I'm going to say. The first thing I wanted to look at here was something that I was taught was called the 5th fret tuning method. And I guess I kind of thought everybody knew this, but I mentioned it in a couple videos a while back, and people in the comments were like, no, what's that? I've never heard of the 5th fret tuning method. So it's a way to tune your guitar if you don't have a tuner. So everybody's got tuners nowadays, right? So is this even relevant? Well, there are many times when you don't have a tuner, and especially back in the day when I was taught, tuners weren't so just accessible. Not everybody had a little Boss pedal tuner and stuff, or the cool rack mount ones and everything. So what I want to look at here is first we're in E standard here, E, B, G, D, A, E, and I remember that I was taught everybody gets donuts at Easter. Everybody gets donuts at Easter. But rather than calling them by their note names, let's just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6th string, always the lowest, the thickest. You're chugging on E, chugging on the 6th string. I play in a lot of tunings, drop C, C standard, drop B, drop A on a 7th string, all that. And so the notes are different in every other tuning where you are and where you're trying to refer to. So when I'm talking to people, I like to just call them by the fret numbers and the string numbers, and I think that's easier. And I grew up reading and learning from tab. another additional sidetrack thing here is that my first lessons, God bless my first teacher, he taught me a million cool things, but he wanted me to learn from these Mel Bay's modern guitar books that just taught like the most boring basic stuff, and I just wanted to rock. So I gravitated towards the Metallica tab books, the Megadeth tab books, stuff like that, and that's where I started learning all the cool techniques, and that's what you can do too, and I recommend that to every player who's trying to learn how to just play guitar and stuff, is just learn the songs you like. Make a list of your 5 favorite songs and just learn them. Go out and get the tablature somehow, figure it out, and learn those songs. You'll learn riffing techniques, soloing techniques, transitional techniques, all sorts of different things that then you will apply to your playing, and then you'll begin writing. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to show just a couple avenues in terms of pitch and way to think about things and tonality and how you can learn to recognize pitch to make better note choices. The 5th fret tuning technique. So here we are, we're in tune. At least I thought we were. I always leave my low string, no matter what tuning I'm in, the tiniest bit flat, just a tiny bit. I believe it makes that power chord sound just a little bit sweeter. Okay, so since I last grabbed this guitar, we've dropped a little bit here. Okay, so we're pretty close there. So the 5th fret tuning technique is as follows. When you're in a standard tuning, the 5th fret of the 6th string should sound the same as the 5th string open. The 5th fret of the 5th string should sound the same as the 4th string open. Again, 6 to 5. Those are strings. And so on. Except when we get to the 3rd string, it's the 4th fret. Back to 5. So, having your guitar in tune with itself is more important than having it in tune to a specific key. So, you can pick up any guitar out of the garage, out of the trunk of a car, whatever, strum it, and it's probably going to sound like crap and out of tune. And you may say, oh man, how can I get this into E? That's way less important than getting it in tune with itself. Even if your 6th string is F sharp or D or S, it doesn't matter. As long as the other strings are in tune with it, you can still jam. You can still play chords. You can still do whatever you want to do. Now, if you want to play along to a song on the radio, you generally need to tune up to whatever tuning they're in to make that happen, to play it on the right spots on the neck if you're going to play it on the right spots on the neck. But getting the guitar in tune with itself is what's most important. And in this case, let's say we don't know where E is, okay? We just picked up this guitar, we're not exactly sure. And I'm going to talk about how I used to identify where E is in a moment. But so let's say this guitar is totally out of whack. Okay, I'm gonna get this about where I think it should be. Okay, it could be anywhere. Now I'm gonna use the 5th fret of the 6th string, and I want to make the 5th string open sound just like it. So the 5th string is higher. We need to detune it. Close. Now, let's get our 4th string in tune. We're going to hit the 5th string on the 5th fret and then the 4th string open. Again, a little sharp. 4th string was sharp. Moving on. All these are sharp. Okay, now regardless of what key we're in, those are pretty close. And the guitar is in tune with itself and playable. Somebody asks you to play some stuff? You can. Okay? So, let's get this up to E now. Oh, and that's important to learn this stuff like that. You may think, well, what is the point of this? What does it even matter? And it's training your ear to identify what this is the 5th fret of the 6th string, the 5th, now the open on the 5th string, I want that to sound the same. Let's get it way out again. Someone that's brand new to guitar wouldn't know to turn this up to about there. to get it to sound like that. So it's kind of some pitch training, some tone training. Again, whack all these out to get it to know which direction, whether you need to sharpen or flatten the tuning knob here to get it to the proper pitch. So I hope that makes sense a little bit for you. And let me just give some examples. Again, being younger, didn't like have a tuner right off the bat. So how would I find E? Metallica's Enter Sandman. First, let's get this in D here. I'm gonna use the tuner in this case. But if I didn't have the tuner, I could put on Enter Sandman, and the very first note of that note is an E. So that's E. So all I would have to do is listen to that very first note of Enter Sandman. I'd tune my E to it, and then I'd turn off Enter Sandman, and then I'd use the 5th fret method. The guitar is in tune with itself, and now it's in a nice E like it should be because I used Enter Sandman. But nowadays, everybody's got tuners. Everybody can go on YouTube and just type in standard E guitar tuning, and it'll play you a note of every one on the string, 6 through 1 or 1 through 6, and you can tune up to that. But what I'm saying here is that not everybody can just identify, oh, the 4th string on YouTube sounds like that, and I need to get my guitar to sound like that too. Learning how to do that, whether to sharpen or flatten it, to get into that proper pitch takes practice, patience, and experimentation, and doing it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times to be able to know with your mind that it sounds in key, that it's a perfect pitch, that they sound the same. So something like that takes practice. Moving on to the next concept that piggybacks on this, bending, pitch bending. I see so many players, mostly inexperienced players, that are just bending along or trying to cover solos of their favorite bands, but the bends sound awful because they're not in pitch. And why is that? It's not really the player's fault yet. It's because they don't know what in pitch is. So I like to, when I'm trying to teach guys how to bend to the proper pitch, to take a step back and eliminate the bend from the equation. If I was going to play this lick, which is a common, just little blues lick, if I were to take the bend out of there, what's happening? It's just this. Again, with the bend. Without. Now the bend makes it sound a little sassier, a little bluesier, a little cooler, more style when you use bend. Check this out. I could do it like that, or I could go. Same thing. But putting the bend in there gives it a little sass. Now right back to this guy. These all happen to be the same note. So if you take the bend out of the equation and think, what is the note I'm trying to bend to? In this case, memorize that pitch in your mind. That's what we want to bend to. Is this correct? No, that'd be this. Or some half step or quarter step in there that I can't even get to. This happens to be a full step. So if you practice bending to the note you're trying to get to, you're trying to achieve in that little lick, you can memorize that pitch a little bit better and make your bends sound sweeter. Again, in this case, this is a little half step. So the bend doesn't have to be as extreme. If you were to go up a full step, that's pretty extreme. It's hard to get up there. So in this case, that's just happen to know the pitch that I want to get to, rather than just randomly guessing how I should bend, what my vibrato should be. Again, good vibrato comes from the wrists, shaking it like that, opening a door handle. Next and final little thing I wanted to talk about is something I was taught is called the Peter Gunn theme. Little thing probably a lot of you have heard before. I honestly don't know. It's some show maybe from the 60s or 70s where that's the theme from it. But it's one of the first things I was taught, and it's one of the first things that I teach to new players because it offers a lot of great things for new players that they can grasp onto and things they can learn. Starting just with the picking hand. Someone who's never held a pick before doesn't understand just to go like this. I was muting there. That's a whole nother concept. To be able to do that consistently with any sense of timing, it takes practice. A noob can't just do it. Okay? Anyways, in the Peter Gunn theme, that's step one. Slow it down a little bit. Then the notes within it are easy. You can do it with one finger. 2, 3, 0, 5, 4, 0, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 5, 4, 0, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 5, 4, 0, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 5, 4. Later down the road, you can put in up-down picking. 0, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 5, 4, 0, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 5, 4. Okay, but let's go back to just downstrokes. Again, this is something for a beginner. Just downstroking. Then, if you're able, use 2 fingers. What's important for this is just getting your timing right, being able to do this at first. And then being able to take your mind off of this to be able to play the notes and identify that you're playing the right notes. Get good at that? Let's use all 4 fingers. That's a little 12-bar blues pattern, I think. Just 12 bars. That's something you can jam with a friend. Do one more time. Because it's 12 bars, I'll count them off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, repeats. See, I overbended there, almost intentionally, to make the point that it's important to know what you're trying to bend to. Now, you didn't hear the rhythm being played under there, which the Peter Gunn theme could have. That was what was in my head while I was doing that little lead there over that, you know. And you can record yourself doing the Peter Gunn theme or any 12-bar blues pattern like that, and then just solo over it and practice your soloing over that. But knowing what to bend to without underbending the pitch or overbending the pitch makes your solos sound sweeter, more professional, certainly more experienced. So that's it. Again, 5th fret tuning. Teaches you pitch, allows you to tune in situations where a tuner isn't necessarily handy to make the guitar in tune with itself, which is most important. the Peter Gunn theme, which is a nice little 12-bar blues thing that you can teach to other people, or if you're a brand new guitarist, something that you can learn just right off the bat to jam along with a little bit. And then incorporating what you learn about pitch and what sounds good and how to bend properly by knowing what note to bend to, what note you're trying to achieve with your bend. Putting all those things together will hopefully round out your playing a little bit and give you a better feel for things. Hope this was helpful, guys. Again, I'm Rob Arnold, and I appreciate you tuning in. I've got other videos on the channel here with other guitar demonstrations, instruction, lessons, maintenance, stuff like that. Plus my conversational show, Everything You Love, play along videos, and so much more. Thanks for stopping by. Please cruise around and check out the rest of the channel. Subscribe if you're not already. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Check out my guitar DVD if you'd like more about heavy metal riffing, soloing, and songwriting. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Cheers.